Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Here we go. Yep. It's a Thursday, the 21st day of November. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show on RiverBender.com and Roku TV. Yes, I sound awful, but we still got a show to do and work to get accomplished, and we're going to do it. We got top of the hour news that'll hit you in the nose in just a couple of seconds, and then about 9:20, we're going to be talking to Mark with all things Pup Kitchen. They're on the RiverBender.com wallpaper, and I think it's really cool that there's starting to be more and more of a conversation about what we're feeding our pets. You know, for some of us that maybe don't have kids or, really just have that connection with our, dogs, it's great to know that there's an option here locally where you can make sure your dog's having the best nutrition possible. So that comes down the pipeline, and then we'll have some more conversations, kind of a best of thing today. Sydney was going to join us, but I told her to stay upstairs because I didn't want to get her sick. We got the office Thanksgiving tomorrow, not the show, but our office is doing Thanksgiving. So she's going to need to be well rested and feeling good to eat some good food tomorrow. And I'm now on the possible section of is Thanksgiving going to be a thing? At 9:04, here's what's happening around the River Bend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update and you'll never miss out. We'll take you to Edwardsville first. We do have a follow-up to this aggravated battery against a child incident from September. Tatiana S. Bacon faces serious charges after allegedly striking an 8-year-old child with an electrical cord, charged on November the 15th with aggravated battery, a Class 3 felony, and a domestic battery, along with a Class A misdemeanor. The incident reportedly occurred on September the 20th. Court documents reveal Bacon struck the child, a family member, leaving visible marks. The Edwardsville Police Department has presented the case against her, leading to her initial court appearance, and she was released from custody. It is important to note that all charges indicate probable cause and do not imply guilt. The Calhoun Sheriff's Office has concluded a long investigation into a reported sexual assault case which began on October the 22nd. Here's what we know. The alleged assault occurred on October the 20th, and the victim reported the incident, leading to the arrest of a suspect who fled to Pineville, Louisiana. After further investigation, it was revealed the victim, Kelsey Herder, had fabricated her claims. And on November the 15th, she was arrested for disorderly conduct, a Class 4 felony. The Sheriff's Office emphasizes the seriousness of false reporting in sexual assault cases and remains committed to thoroughly investigating all claims. But the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office has arrested a woman for falsely reporting a sexual assault case. The Illinois State Police Division of Criminal Investigation continues to address public corruption following charges against 60-year-old Carlos Mayfield, the former city manager of East St. Louis. Here's what we know on this. The investigation began after allegations of theft and official misconduct surfaced on April the 3rd of 2024. Evidence indicated that Mayfield misappropriated city funds for personal use. On October 1st, an arrest warrant was issued for him on charges of theft and fraudulent use of credit or debit cards. Despite ongoing communication with his attorney, Mayfield remains uncooperative and has not surrendered, leading to effort for his arrest. We'll keep you updated as more details do emerge from this East St. Louis case. The city of Edwardsville has taken a significant step towards reducing energy costs by agreeing to participate in a community solar array located outside of the city. During a recent city council meeting, members unanimously approved an agreement with Ampion PBC, which is expected to generate approximately 10% on energy expense savings. Alderman William Krause emphasized the initiative is cost-free and will provide energy credits to offset the city's consumption. The agreement, which includes large electrical accounts for water and wastewater treatment facilities, is set to last for an initial term of 10 years with automatic renewal options. Wren Crawford, a senior at Alton High, has been recognized as the latest remarkable Redbird for her outstanding contributions to her school and community. Recently voted on to the 2024 Homecoming Court, Wren actively participates in various organizations, including the National Honor Society and Upward Bound, which supports students in exploring college options. As the student editor of the Tatler Yearbook, she leads her peers in documenting school events. Wren also serves as the youth leader for the National Council of Negro Women, organizing community initiatives and events. After graduation, she aims to major in political science and give back to her community. In area sports, Alton High School has officially hired Brian Bird as the head boys track coach, set to begin in the spring of 2025. A graduate from East St. Louis, Bird has a rich coaching background, having served as the assistant coach for the Redbirds football program this past fall. With 18 years of coaching experience across various sports, including track and field, he succeeds Jeff White, who resigned after 9 years. Alton Athletic Director Chris Kacernik expressed confidence in Bird's ability to foster strong relationships with the players, emphasizing the benefits of having a current staff member in this role. Food is Love, a nonprofit organization dedicated to feeding and empowering communities, is expected and excited to host its monthly block party for good on Friday, November the 22nd, from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. in Alton. The uplifting event will provide free groceries and meals from local food trucks, ensuring everyone leaves satisfied. President John Michael emphasized that the block party is not about food distribution, it's a celebration of community and connection. Attendees can also learn about Food is Love's various programs aimed at combating food insecurity. All are welcome to join this heartwarming gathering. At the recent Grafton Country Music Festival, Anthony Russo and Paula Jameson joined me on the show that we did and expressed their passion for country music, the city of Grafton, and more. Jameson, who helped organize the festival to mark the anniversary of her Facebook page, Enjoy Grafton, welcome Russo and his band Russo & Co. back to the community as the headliners of the event. Russo emphasized his love for good time and music while steering clear of mainstream styles. The band has gained recognition, recently winning STL Magazine's A-List Best Original Band. Jameson praised community support as vital to the festival's success and the growth of Enjoy Grafton, highlighting the importance of local engagement. The SIUE School of Dental Medicine recently hosted its annual Veterans Dental Care Day, providing free dental services to 84 local veterans, always a great thing. On November the 14th, veterans received essential care, including cleanings, fillings, and extractions, valued at over $43,000. During the event, veterans shared stories and experiences, fostering a sense of community. Dean Salas Dructanus emphasized the school's commitment to supporting veterans, many of whom lack dental benefits. This marks the 7th consecutive year for the event, highlighting SIUE's dedication to serving those who have served the country while also engaging students in meaningful community care. Finally, in your top of the hour newscast today in local sports, In their girls basketball season opener on November the 19th, the Triad Knights dominated Marquette Catholic 57-27 with a victory in Columbia's Tip-Off Classic. Savannah Hildebrand and McKenna Witham each scored 13 points, leading the Knights to a strong start. Triad, which finished last season at 16-16, showcased a well-rounded performance with Addie Jones contributing 9 points and Erica Boyce, Delaney Hess adding 7. The Knights set the record at 1-0 for the season and will face the host Eagles next in Columbia, while Marquette falls to 0-1. But from what I've heard, too, Marquette's got a great girls basketball team that's going to be doing some good things this year. So keep the eye on the Explorers but girls basketball squad as well. 9:12, that's a look at what's happening around the River Bend. It's 35 degrees, and it feels like every bit of it. Man, it was cold out there this morning. I even heard that there were some snow flurries. Crazy stuff. Hey, cloudy this morning, then times of sun and clouds this afternoon. We will have wind gusts past 40 miles an hour, and it will be cooler today. Mostly cloudy and windy tonight. As for the air quality is at 26, which is good. Grass is low, but mold is moderate still at 10,725, so be careful. And then pretty much other than that, your air quality is right where it needs to be. Today, temperatures reach 43 degrees and drop down to 36 overnight as we head into Friday to wrap up the week that was. On Friday, a high of 46, a low of 32 degrees, and on Saturday, a high of 50, a low of 38, and on Sunday, a high of 61, a low of 45 degrees. On Monday, we start our week with a high of 50 and the coldest temperature so far that we've faced, a low of 29 degrees. That's a look at the next 5 days, but here's what's happening now. At 9:13 and a little bit of change, it's 35 degrees in downtown Alton, and it feels like 26. Wow. Yep, it does feel cold out there. For time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back Rehab Recover and Return Home. You can also stay up to date in real time all the time by going to RiverBender.com/weather. Hey, while I have you, we're going to be learning more about Pup Kitchen in just a couple of minutes, but wanted to fill you in a little bit more about this made and packaged locally dog food that's delivered right to your door. It's also available at the Green Earth Grocery, the All Natural Pet Center, and the Sauce Shop. They have hearty beef and potatoes as one of their options, whack and wig, steak and eggs, bacon good turkey, and so much more. I mean, this is really good, nutritious food for your pets. You know, it's always one of those things that, I don't know if you're like me, but you feel a little jealous when maybe you're eating a nice roast, chuck roast that you just got out of the crock pot, got some carrots in there, life's looking good for you. And then you're looking down at your furry friend, your fur baby, and then you're seeing them eating this dried up kibble. It does something to you. So why not treat your dog to something a lot better, something a lot more nutritious, and also something that's going to really help yourself because you're going to keep your pet healthier. At Pup Kitchen, I can't wait to learn more about it, but it's all about creating that quality food, dog food crafted by hand right in the city of Edwardsville. They're AAFCO compliant, and they're ready for you to shop now. All you got to do is click on the RiverBender.com wallpaper or just go to Pup Kitchen. Don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way because, as always, it's a joint effort. We'll take a quick break, but before we do, let's take a look at downtown Alton and see how we're looking today. Because, man, oh man, it definitely feels like we're getting some snow out there, even though we are.
To that land of gentle breezes where the peaceful waters flow. Spread your tiny wings and fly away. And take the snow back with you where it came from on that day. The one I love forever is untrue.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Get paid to go sober.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
And see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening. Sorry, I just wanted to get back because I'm excited to talk about Pup Kitchen, Mark. I honestly just ended my top of the hour news early because I am really excited to talk about ways that we can really just make the best experience for our puppy. You know what I'm saying? And taking care of our dog. I was giving your guys' live read and talking about this natural handcrafted dog food, and I'm telling you what. I mean, I just want to talk to you more and more now, Mark. Good morning and happy happy Thursday to you.
Yeah, good morning to you as well. Thanks for having me on.
I'm serious. I said I can't take any more commercials. I want to talk Pup Kitchen. Let's get back and talk about this. Good morning. This is a great idea. What led up to it?
Oh, there's a backstory. If you go back about 20 years, I was very adamant about cooking for our family. And I think as I progressed, I got more and more interested in the health aspects of cooking and what's good for the human body. And during those times, I started focusing more and more on natural food, things that didn't have preservative. And then at some point in time during that progression, I looked at our dog food and I thought, well, if we're eating healthy, shouldn't our dogs be eating more healthy as well? And sometime during that point, we started trying to feed our dogs some of the other known brands out there that are focused on more natural food and away from kibble. And at some point a few years back, my wife had an interest in taking it to the next step, which was making a food from us making food for our dogs. As she started doing that, she read a whole lot of information and books and what's good for dogs, what's bad for dogs. And then an opportunity presented itself about half a year ago now to purchase a commercial kitchen and start doing this on a larger level and actually selling the food. And so that's the backstory of it. It's just my wife wanted to make our own food for our dogs and to ensure our dogs were eating healthy. And I think part of it was we saw a huge improvement in our dogs' overall health after we started feeding them our food, which was less shedding, less allergies. They actually were able to have a proper weight to them. The vets really liked their weight after a while, so it encouraged us to do more with it.
Well, and take me through some of the holdups with that, because I know that, every time I'm looking down, that's what I was talking about during the live read was, we always look down when we're having maybe a nice pot roast, on a Sunday, and then you're looking at your dog's food bowl and it's a bunch of dried kibble. And it really makes you start thinking about, is this really the right thing for your dog? Were there any hang-ups when you were putting formulas together and handcrafting your recipes with you and your wife that you weren't expecting,
I think there was a lot as we started doing research and purchasing books and looking at like AFSCO certifications. There's a lot of foods that are questionable for dogs. And when I say questionable, even some of the books say it could be a good for a dog, it might not be a good for a dog. So we started eliminating those out of our recipes to make sure we only focused on things that were thought to be certainly good for a dog. Also, there's a lot of lab work, tests, and certifications you have to get to sell dog food. And I was a little bit taken back by that. I've started a few companies, and this was shocking to me, all of the certifications, again, lab tests. To create a recipe for a dog isn't just for dog food, isn't just creating a recipe. It's creating the recipe, sending it off to a lab to have it tested, to have it recognized by AFCO as being good for a dog, a well-balanced nutrition. And then on and above that, once you have that certification or the lab tests done, you got to send all that to the state so the Department of Agriculture can look at the results and then also make sure your labels are in line with those results. So there is a lot more, it took a lot more time. I think we spent easily 8 to 10 weeks just going through all the testing and certifications.
Wow. And now, at any point in the 8 weeks where you're just getting ready to throw your hands up and go, come on, because, I always find the journey the most fascinating part. And just hearing a little bit about it, for all of us here that might be potential consumers to know that, think about all the channels this had to go through to even make it possible. I mean, it's definitely vetted and verified.
Yeah, and I don't want to discredit anybody, but I think the most humorous story in hindsight for me was the labels. After we had everything else done, we had our registration with the state. The state still had to approve the labels, and when I sent the labels off, I got a response back that basically said the labels aren't accurate or aren't correct. Please correct them and resubmit. And so I replied with, can you expand on what's not correct about the labels? To which there was crickets, right? They didn't respond to that. And so I tried like a week later asking again, and there's just nothing back. And so I went and found the document, the 58-page document that talks about pet labels, and read through it all. And I learned that I had fat listed on top of protein, and they want protein on top of fat, small change. So I made that tweak, sent them off for approval again, and got another rejection saying, no, they're still not correct. Please resubmit when they're correct. And I was like, what am I doing? What do I have wrong now? And so luckily I was able to figure out what I had wrong. But that was, again, I don't think I got frustrated in the process. I appreciated the process because it made me recognize how challenging it is to be able to sell a quality dog food. It's not something you just go start cooking a food and selling it. There's processes. I think it's actually, to me, sometimes more regulated than some human food.
Really?
to some degree.
Yeah, I get it. It's just to me that it's just hearing that though, and just the labels, because to me that would be one of those kind of just not irritating, but one of those little blips on the radar that I would have blown it up to be Mount Everest. And you were talking a little bit about some of your business background. Is there anything that you took out of maybe the other businesses that you've been a part of that helped you and your wife streamline the opening of Pup Kitchen?
I think there's a lot of things. I have, since I've started a few businesses, I don't get upset by challenges. I think I'm able to keep a level head and recognize that we can get around this. And, again, I think if you're doing things the correct way with good intent, you're going to learn along the way as you're starting something new. So I was learning about dog food as I was going down this journey. And as I got pushed back, or as I was told, no, you have to do this, it wasn't, in my mind, negative. I was glad to learn it, and I wanted to do things the right way. So I think my acumen to starting other businesses led to me having a patience in the process of this one here, is the best thing I could say.
Now, have you and your wife, if it's okay for me to ask, have you guys partnered up before on businesses?
No, this is our first time to work together.
Even cooler. Yeah. Okay, so take me through that experience. What was it like? Because I come from a little bit of a family business background, and I'm always curious to ask this question.
Yeah, there's been some good times, definitely. I think one of the things is my wife is definitely more, I would say, artistic with things, whereas I understand processes for a business. And so there's quite a few times where So we going back to all the lab testing and certifications, right? There was times she was like, "Oh, I want to create a XYZ product." I know one time she wanted to do like a parfait bowl, and I go, "Well, do you realize one, we can't just do that. You have to go through all those lab testing, and you can't just get creative and all of a sudden change it." And that still even went on to other things. Like she wanted to tweak a recipe. I was like, "Well, we can't now. The recipe is set."
Right.
And that's part of my processing. The things I enjoy doing was like for our recipes, to make sure we adhered to the original recipe that was sent off for lab testing. When we sent that off, or prior to sending it off, I had us do 3 cooks individually, so I could make a process that I knew was repeatable to the T going forward. And part of that process was I created a calculator. So for instance, the chicken pot pie recipe obviously has chicken in it and sweet potatoes and peas and other things. I think it's got russet potatoes, but we had to keep the proportions of all those the same. So depending on the cook, I knew that we might cook more or less at a certain time, depending on the orders and demand. I wanted to make sure those ratios stayed the same. So my calculator now allows us to cook the chicken. Once the chicken's cooked, we can weigh how much chicken we cooked. I can enter the weight of the chicken into this calculator, and it tells us exactly how much of every other ingredient's needed to meet our ratio. And so that's where my logic thinking, my process thinking, I think helped the process. And along the way, my wife definitely has good ideas for future initiatives. Like, the couple of recipes she has suggested, I do want us to do. We've gotten feedback from customers. One customer wanted more protein. I think that's a good idea. I'm sure people are going to want more of a high protein option as well. So we're going to take those initiatives and what my wife's ideas and make more recipes in the future. It's not going to happen here in November or December. It'll probably be a New Year activity. But when we do those, we have to have a similar process where I know that it's repeatable, and we send it off to the lab for testing. So there's steps involved before we just create recipes. Well, I don't know if I fully answered your question about my wife and I, but the point that I was trying to make is she's a little bit more creative and artistic, whereas I bring the process. You
did.
Table.
The only follow up to that is there ever a time where the business hats come off anymore?
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I think
good.
We still have.
That's really good.
Yeah, we still have a family life. We have 2 kids. We still try to have dinners with our kids. We still try to make our personal lives our personal lives. There are times now we talk about the business around the house, and of course that happens a lot. As you know, we've teamed up with the Metro East Humane Society recently, so there's been a lot of talks around the house around that. But ultimately, yeah, there's still plenty of personal talk.
I'm emceeing the Metro East Humane Society's gala next year. I'm excited for it. They're great people, and honestly, yeah. I think it's hats off, not patronizing you, but that is such a difficult thing for so many people that come on this show that are partners in business and in life to find that time, and kudos for the balance of it. But getting into your personal lives with your dogs, when does the moment you notice that this new form or different form of food for your dog was really working? Did it take a few years? Was it instant when you got him off of kibble and started going into a different form of nutrition? How long did that kind of crossover take in case folks are interested and are wanting really fast results?
Yeah, I got a couple stories for that. First off, I was fascinated with our dogs. We have 2 of our dogs are labs. Anyone who has a lab knows they're heavy shedders. Our dogs still shed. The shedding's not gone, but the amount of shedding is hugely decreased. I mean, we used to always have hairballs around our house. We were constantly vacuuming and sweeping. A lot of that has decreased. There's still hair, but it's decreased, and that happened pretty quickly. That was I don't want to give a time frame, but it wasn't months, multiple months. It was a month or less. We noticed that. The other big thing I noticed was their weight. So back when they were on kibble, and even when we started feeding them a combination of kibble and another brand's healthy food, they were still a little bit hefty, I'll say. And every time we went to the vet was like, they need to lose more weight. They're still a little overweight. And I kept hearing that repeatedly from the vet. They need to lose weight. And so we kept cutting back their food to the point where I was concerned if they were getting enough nutrition, because these were both like 89, 90-pound labs that the vet was saying needs to shed 15, 20 pounds, but I was only feeding them a cup and a half a day. So it was a very small amount of food. And I was just like, I don't know how to get them to shed more weight. surprisingly to me, when we started feeding them our food, our whole, all natural, holistic food, they started losing weight. And what's even more impressive is they're eating a decent amount of our food. They're not eating a cup and a half a day anymore. They're eating upwards of 4 cups a day of our food, but they're all now down to a proper weight. And the vets every time now, like they're perfect there. They don't need to lose weight. They're at a good weight. And we didn't put an effort towards that. So I was putting an effort towards that when they were on kibble. But once we moved them to our food, I was like, let's just feed them and see what happens. And their weight is naturally came off. Now I don't want to announce this as a weight loss program for dogs. I'm not making any guarantees, but at the same time, I saw it in our dogs. The other thing I've seen from customers, and customers have reached out to this, is some of the customers have dogs that had, darkness in their eyes, like a lot of tearing and a lot of, dark lines underneath their eyes. And we've had 2 customers reach out to say those completely went away after about 2 weeks of eating our food.
Now, I got a question too, because you mentioned in the beginning of our conversation here a little bit about allergies and skin, because this is something that hits close to home. My dog is, every time I took him to the vet just a couple weeks ago, great health, great weight, but he is itchy as hell for no reason. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And he has a little bit of a hot spot that went away. But have you noticed with the holistic food and that handcrafted food, does that kind of, can that help aid to maybe some of these allergy issues? Because I don't know what else to try. Neither does the vet. We're trying it all.
We have a pup just like that. Our yellow lab used to walk around the house scratching herself on everything. I mean, she would find a hard surface and just start scratching. And before you know it, she had a bald spot. And with our food, that has completely gone away. Again, I'm not going to say that's going to be the case for everyone. There's different allergies, different types of allergies. I know our yellow lab was allergic to a lot of stuff. But again, going back to even for humans, you've heard many times, let food be thy medicine. And I think with even dogs, if you feed them a healthy diet, a well-balanced diet, that's going to be what they need to have longevity. And I think it's similar for humans. You eat a well-balanced, well-rounded diet, you're going to have a better chance of longevity through that healthy eating.
Let me ask you this. Did you notice any change in their mood or their mobility levels?
Yeah.
Did you? That wasn't a leading question. I'm so curious about this. I am really fascinated.
Yeah, we've had, again, another couple of customers reach out to us on that as well. I don't remember the exact story. My wife would know the exact story, but one customer reached out to her, and I'm going to paraphrase my memory of it, but it was something around, their dog usually would go for walks, but really didn't want to, seemingly. And after just 10 days on our food, the dog was up and excited to go for walks. We've noticed that too. Our dogs are definitely happy to go for walks. They both shed about 20 pounds. Our dogs did. So now they're a little more
ready to go.
weight and agile. Yeah, exactly. So they're very active, very playful. Our labs are, I think, 8 and 9 years old. So that's getting old for a lab. I mean, labs can have 12 to 14 year lifespans. That's upper age.
Right.
And they're still both very active.
That's incredible. I mean, truly incredible. And, I wanted to ask you this too, because the thing that I've been most nervous about with seeing, now talking with you about a locally sourced product makes me feel 10 times better. There's just something about seeing a YouTube ad for dog food that just didn't really sit right with me, because I'm like, where's that factory at? What's going on here? There's a lot of different questions. But to know that this is done locally just gives me a comfortability level. But the big question I had with all of this is, my dog's been a kibble dog since he was a puppy. He's a year and a year and a half now, or a year and 7 months, going on 2 years. But the question would be, is there a transitionary period for their stomach to get acclimated from a dry kibble to a more of to your guys' dog food? Because to me, it would be like eating Taco Bell for, 8 months, and then all of a sudden you switch to a salad. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yes. If you just do a hard cut over, they're probably going to have some runniness coming out. I think you should transition a bit. And I think the things I've heard in the past, I've always abided by, is do like a half and half for a week, and then slowly start transitioning out the kibble. And that gives their system a chance to become acclimated with the product, which I think is an important thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad I asked you that too, because I don't know. There was just something about that was sticking in my head, because I'm really thinking about making the switch here. And, who would be the best option, for this food? Is it all dog owners? Is there a, once we're on this, it's best to stay there? Is there a perfect, individual or perfect family for this type of product?
Well, that's a really good question. In most the majority of all people who have dogs love their dog and want their dog and want their dog to be healthy and have a long life. And I think those people are definitely individuals who should look at feeding their dog something healthier than kibble. Going back to even humans, if you're looking at food that's well preserved and shelf stable, it's not going to be as good for us. And I firmly believe that kibble is going to be very similar for a dog. If you have something that doesn't require refrigeration, is shelf stable, it cannot be as healthy as a whole food that is what we should be eating.
Yeah.
And you mentioned local earlier. What we do like about our product is we deliver it to each person. We hand deliver it. It's not shipped. What I like about that, in comparing it to the online brands, and being fully honest, we had bought the online brands prior to.
I was curious. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we had done that ourselves prior to starting to cook our own food. And my frustration with the online brands wasn't so much with the brands, but it was with the shipping.
Yeah.
So there was multiple times, and I'm really honestly saying in the course of a couple years, 10 to 15 times, where the food didn't make it to us when it should. And not to put blame on anyone, but maybe it was delayed in shipping, maybe it was lost in shipping, but there was 15 plus times that we didn't get the food in time. So when we did receive it, it was past when we needed it, or it was ruined when we received it because the ice had melted and it was warm inside the box. And that makes it inconvenient for a dog owner who's expecting that shipment. So with us, when you order on our site, we reach out to you with usually within 24 hours to find out when you need the delivery. And again, we personally deliver it. That's why we're trying to focus on a 40-mile radius of Edwardsville, because we drive it to you and bring it to you and hand it to you or put it on your doorstep if that's where you want it at. But ideally, it's coming from us fresh to you.
See, I honestly think this is incredible. I mean, really, that's why I really love this local portion of it. And I wanted to dive back into that here too, because you never know what factory has, a dog food, producing a portion of it. And then on the next sector of it, or maybe 2 walls down, you got some other type of production line going on to it. Just, you never know where they're located. What were some of the challenges of finding that local spot? You said it came to you, or it kind of fell on your lap a little bit, but would it have been harder for you to do this if it didn't fall on your lap if you had to go look for it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if it fell in my lap. This is where my wife is really diligent. She was probably looking for the opportunity, knowing her, which is good. I'm glad she was. But ultimately what happened was a commercial kitchen here in Edwardsville became available, not to rent, but to buy. And so we bought the commercial kitchen.
Wow.
And that is where the food is made. It's a commercial kitchen. And to what you said, it is a commercial kitchen. And so we do have another tenant or 2 other tenants who are using the kitchen, but it's being used for human grade food. And what I like about that is that means our kitchen is being inspected by the health department periodically to make sure we're sticking up with standards. And so our food being, dog food, I'm using air quotes, is the only thing that, and I started to say isn't human grade, but really our dog food is human grade. And that's
I'm not being funny, but I was going to ask you if you've tried it, because
we always eat our food. Yeah, it's kind of funny to say that. And I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but one of the jokes, one of the fun parts is right now it's a family business, obviously. And so my kids, my wife and I all get in there and cook. And there's a couple of funny things. One is we've each tried each recipe because it's completely human grade. There's nothing in there you can't eat. Matter of fact, we had one customer tell us that they took the Wake and Wag steak and eggs. So the Wake and Wag steak and eggs is beef, eggs, sweet potatoes, peppers, and spinach. He literally took a package, added salt and pepper to it, put it in a burrito, and ate it himself, which is fine. It's like a breakfast burrito is what it really is. But all of our food is human grade. And the funny story I was going to get at is after we cook, quite often, as we're packaging it all, there's a little bit of each one left over. And we will take those leftovers, whatever's left over, including any extra ingredients, and put them into a big bowl. And that's kind of like, the cobbler's son. Our dogs get some of that stuff, right? And every time one of us dares someone else to try it, because it's a mix of like all the ingredients at that point in time. And someone's always has to try it to see what it tastes like.
That's incredible. And I just like the family component of this because, you wouldn't think of a dog food company of having, that family atmosphere and this different type of approach. But really, that's what our dogs are. They're family. My dog is my son. There is no denying that, at this point in time. And whenever you started launching this, whenever people start to hear about it, was there an initial feedback of a good level, or did it take a little bit for the word to spread?
The word spread pretty quickly, but there's a lot of question around that, right? In my mind, as I'm trying to answer that. So the word spread quickly. I was surprised how many people heard of Pup Kitchen pretty quickly, which I was excited about. Now, though, we have to get people convinced that it is a quality product and they want to buy it. So there's two things to tackle there. One is awareness, which I think is still ongoing. We have to create more awareness. And then two is trust. So people actually recognize that we're a trusted company in the area. And again, going back to the Metro East Humane Society, I think this Thursday, they're going to do a pause giving and feed all the dogs a Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day, and they're going to do a live stream. So we're providing all the food for that at no cost as a donation to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, but I'm hoping that also people will see that the Humane Society is using our food for the dogs. That will help build some trust with our food.
The other thing that comes up with dog food, and I know this just from a personal level, when I started, I'm not going to lie, I know it's 9:42, but I was bitching and Schnucks the other day, because you grab the food and you're like, oh my God, like you look down at the price. Is it something, do you think, that most families or households could afford? Or because I know that you're cooking live ingredients, I mean, this is the real deal here. How should we account our budget for this? I think that's the better question.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. And obviously, it's a premium food. It has a premium price, and it's unfortunate. But anytime you're using more holistic, healthy ingredients, quite often the price is going to go up a bit because it's not shelf stable anymore. It can't sit on a shelf for 2 years and still be edible as far as the manufacturer is concerned. So it's a premium product. We did do a lot of work to buy competitors' products to understand their pricing. So to restate that, some of the online competitors, in my opinion, aren't crystal clear about their pricing. They will advertise things like starting at only $10 a week,
right? But
that's for like a 3-pound teacup dog of some sort. So it's not realistic for a lab or something. So what I did was I took 3 of our competitors that I identified, and I bought a significant amount of their food from each one of these competitors. That allowed me to weigh the food and understand a price per pound they were charging. We then took all that data and made sure we priced ours at the same price or below the lowest price per pound. Now, that also means there's, from a business perspective, maybe consequences in that, right? Because there are huge companies with all kinds of VC funding who can price things really low. We are a family business, it's a startup. So really argumentatively, we're priced at a point right now where our margins are very thin. But I'm okay with that again, because I'm trying to create a brand that's local and people want to use. And if we're helping dogs or helping dogs get healthier and providing value to the community, I'm okay with that. But my point being is I believe we're priced competitively. A few customers have reached out to us to confirm that they were using one of the competitors and they were getting, for instance, a monthly delivery, and they've now signed up for us for a monthly delivery, and they've confirmed that our prices are right at what they were paying, if not a few dollars below what they were paying.
It's incredible, and I really am appreciative of that answer, because that's always been like the final holdup for me is, being a younger guy out there, and it's good to know that, but now I'm feeling a lot more positive about my future experience with a Pup Kitchen here. So how does the ordering work? Is it a month ahead? Is it a month order or a month supply all the time? Is it by week? Is it just by pound? How does that kind of break down if I call or place online?
Yeah, and that's one of the things on our website, which I believe can be a bit confusing. And I kind of designed the site, so I haven't found a better way of doing this yet. But when you go to our site, there's a shop button, and you can pick one of the 6 recipes. When you go into the recipe, there's a little form that asks for your dog's name, your dog's weight, your dog's age, and your dog's target weight. The purpose of target weight is for the calculator to understand if your dog needs to lose weight or gain weight. And the age is also important because the calculator uses that to see if your dog is young, active and growing, or older and less active and needs a little bit less of a caloric intake, right? So once you enter those fields, there's a calculate button, and that calculate button gives you how much food your dog needs per day, and it shows it to you in ounces. From there, there is a input box that you can enter how many days of food you want. It prices the food accordingly by pound is what it does. So it is purchasing by pound, but ultimately it tells you how many pounds you need to feed your dog for however many days you enter.
I'm nerding out about your calculations, man. I just think this is like, out of all the interview, I love how you're getting to these numbers. I geek out about this stuff. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I appreciate it. Again, I'm big on processes, and so I didn't want to take. And I want to answer your question before I dive into
it was my fault.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So ultimately, once you enter the number of days, you can put it into your cart. When you put it into your cart, there is a option where I want this repeated weekly, or I want this repeated every other week, or I want it repeated monthly, or I just want a one-time purchase. So you can really set up your own schedule. You can do it one-off, one at a time. I think there's a bit of a discount. I shouldn't say I think. There's a bit of a discount for creating a subscription. So your individual one-time purchase is about $8.49 a pound, whereas the subscription price is $7.95 per pound. And there's no commitment to the subscription. You can cancel at any time. But ultimately, with the subscription, you can select a weekly subscription, a bi-weekly subscription, or a monthly subscription.
Well, and honestly,
and then, go ahead.
Just doing the by the pound, though, that's really not that far off from some of the kibble that you're seeing even at Schnucks. I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, if you look at the bags and you break down how many pounds of dog food are in there, I mean, that's a pretty quick number. And to be even $4 or $3 off of dried kibble is pretty damn good for pricing, in all seriousness. I mean, I was just doing the math in my head thinking about that, and that makes sense.
Yeah. And going back to your calculator, yeah, I really enjoyed the process of building the calculator that I built. I went to other sources such as PetMD and looked at their recommended serving. And you did a lot of research on recommended serving size for dogs. And one thing I noticed was a lot of the calculators strictly rate on the dog's weight. They don't take into account if the dog needs to lose weight or if the dog's young or old. And I don't want to pinpoint anyone, but a lot of them are just like, if your dog weighs 85 pounds, give them this many cups of food per day. And it was all it was. And so our calculator tries to take into account more as far as age, if they should be losing weight, if they should be gaining weight, and those kind of things. So it gives you ideally a little bit more of an accurate intake for your pup.
And now that we're at the final portions of our conversation, but Marc's going to be joining us again next week for another interview that I'm really excited about for Thanksgiving. I wanted to talk about our process. So once it's delivered, you guys show up at our door, drop it off. We appreciate it. Do we need to add water, or do we just put it in the bowl, or what's that process look like for us?
That's a great question. So every order can be tailored to what you need. What I mean by that is our typical process in the kitchen is, so we follow all human grade food procedures. And to that, I have my food manager license. I do personally. Really so cool. I know the processes to handle food for a human, and we follow all those. And so what that means is, when we finish cooking something, it's got to go from cook temperature down to 70 degrees within 2 hours. And then it's got to go from that 70 down to cooling temperature, which is in the refrigerator for 41 degrees within 4 hours past that. So we follow all those things. When we finish compiling a recipe and we've created, let's say, going back to the Wake and Wag steak and eggs, we've created that recipe, we package it, and then we typically start freezing it. And we have freezers that have, kind of a turbo freeze mode on them. So it cools it down to freezing temperature pretty quickly. We usually deliver it to people in a frozen state. Frozen because it can last 3 to 6 months in your freezer safely to be able to be thawed and served to your dog. Once you thaw it, it's recommended to eat it within 5 days of thawing. So again, not when you start thawing it, but once it has thawed, make sure that it gets consumed within 5 days.
So
what I said real quickly, since we're personalized, we do have certain people though that ask, can you please give me mine thawed? And we will do that. We will work with that person to make sure their delivery is a thawed delivery and not a frozen delivery.
Wow. That's actually got to be a little bit tougher, I'm sure. And so just to clarify the thaw and the wait time, because we used to do a food safety segment on the show, so I think it's really cool that you're bringing this up. The counter doesn't start until, let's say I bring it out at 8 o'clock at night because I know I'm going to feed my dog Nico at 5:45 in the morning to thaw it. That wouldn't start until the following day after I already start serving him, correct? Just for the audience that's You never know
Yes.
how these FAQs get.
So the recommended process, what I do is I keep a few days worth in my refrigerator as I use a day. So at the end of every day, I go to the freezer and pull out enough. So I have kind of a rotating 4 or 5 days in my refrigerator. So the stuff takes, depending on the size of the package, right? So our packages are 1 pound packages quite often. A 1 pound package can easily take 12 hours, 14 hours to thaw in the refrigerator. Once it's thawed in the refrigerator, and you have 5 days past that point to serve it.
Really?
And I don't want to get anyone's dog sick. 5 days in my mind is a very safe estimate. We have our dogs. I'm not gonna recommend anyone do this, but I have definitely fed my dogs food that had been thawed 7 days earlier. So it's in my mind, if you do a day-dot system, right, in any serving facility, most food is going to last 7 days, which is 7 days past today. Today counts as one, I should say. So it's 1 day for today, and then 6 days following is what a food's going to last, even for human consumption.
Really fascinating. All right, a couple more questions for you, and thanks for hanging in there on my illness day, man. I am got smoked by some type of cold, so I appreciate you putting up with my horsey voice and everything else. But the other couple final questions: how long does it take for you guys to prepare your orders every week? What's that look like when you guys are in the kitchen?
It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. I try to have fun in most things I do, whether they can be stressful or not. It's a lot of work, first off. I'm not a young pup anymore. So the first few, taking a step way back, right? We started cooking the kitchen just to get used to the process back like in May or June. And we didn't start selling our product until late August. So we had many, many, many cooks in the kitchen. And I would say going back to May or June, at the end of every weekend, I felt like I'd been run over by a truck. I was just so sore, right? And I work out. I'm not someone who just sits around, but I do have a job where I sit here a lot. But ultimately, that was using different muscles that I had not used enough. And I was just exhausted. That has improved. I can now, be in the kitchen all weekend long and not have that amount of soreness. So I can see an improvement there. But the kitchen time for me is fun because it's really, again, the whole family quite often. My older son, he is a blast in the kitchen. He has kitchen experience. He's worked in a local kitchen, local restaurant in the past. So he's got a lot of experience and he's a lot of fun in the kitchen to work alongside. We have modified our cook to where now Friday after work, we try to go up there and start our cooking process. And we try to get the proteins out of the way on Friday. So our goal on Fridays are to cook the proteins and cook the grains. We have a couple recipes that have like rice in them. So those all get cooked on Friday. We get them all cooled down into the walk-in cooler on Friday. And then Saturday, we come in and do all the vegetables, which is a lot of dicing and cooking of the vegetables. And I like to add that everything is cooked for our products, which is important because if someone, let's take all the scares we've seen in the last couple of years around Listeria or E. coli in food and that kind of stuff. Those things, those pathogens are killed at the right temperature. So we do cook all of our food, again, to follow human grade standards. They're all cooked to the proper temperature. So if E. coli is present in something, it's going to be killed as it's cooked. And obviously there's certain pathogens that don't work that way, but most of them do work that way. So we cook on Friday, we cook all the vegetables on Saturday, everything's in the walk-in cooler, and then Sunday is the packaging day. So we spend all 3 days in the kitchen with the family.
I love it. Hey, Mark, before I let you go, what's the best way for us to stay up to date on Pup Kitchen and to place our orders now?
Absolutely. So pupkitchen.com is the website. You can find out a lot of information there. We are on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and I think we have weekly, I shouldn't say weekly, 3 to 4 posts per week on those platforms. But I think pupkitchen.com is probably where you can go to find out more.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to talking with you again on Tuesday when we tape that conversation for Thanksgiving. But best of luck with this. I'm super excited to learn more, and I can't wait to see if I can sign Nico up and get him some new food.
I appreciate the conversation, CJ. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. 9:55, a little bit of change. More Daily Show comes your way after this top of the hour news break, right after this on RiverBender.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Welcome back. 9:58, little bit of change. Daily show on a Thursday. All right. $9:58, little bit of change. Welcome back to our daily show. That is such an interesting company. I mean, I'm really looking forward to learning more about Pup Kitchen because I really think that could be something that's, great for Nico. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just to know that you're giving your dog some really good food, that'd be really great. We'll have more for you on Pup Kitchen here in a couple of days here when the news team gets a write-up going, but just wanted to fill you in. I mean, that was great. What a great conversation, and really cool to know a local company's doing it, and really just doing some great work there too. So with that being said, we'll take you, before we start doing anything else, just to a quick news brief here in the 618. And a couple of different stories for you. One is going to be for the hunting season that's getting ready to commence. And the other one is going to be, I just found out I didn't start Facebook Live today. There you go. I'm winning. I'm winning all across the board. If you're just tuning in on Facebook, 9:59, you missed a great first interview. You can see it with Mark and Pup Kitchen on RiverBender.com /daily show. And if you're hearing me today, I am sounding as good as I feel. Also wanted to talk to you guys about that Boeing news that just hit the region. More layoffs coming down the pipeline, and especially at this time of the year, a little bit tougher. We'll take you to this, though, first. At 10 o'clock, it's officially the top of the hour in downtown Alton. You're watching RiverBender.com as our daily show on RiverBender, Roku TV, or any of your social media. Listen to this. The Alton and Marquette Catholic high school boys soccer teams united for a cause greater than competition on Tuesday night. their efforts concluded. The boys sold T-shirts during their annual Battle of the Bull rivalry match to raise funds for the Alton Police Canine program. The proceeds from this initiative will honor Officer Odin, a canine killed in the line of duty earlier this year. The boys donated $1,100 to the Alton Police Canine unit. Greg Nasello, the head boys soccer coach at Alton High, emphasized the importance of community engagement through sports. Here's what he had to say. Kids need to learn life lessons out of sports. Giving back to the community is just as important as taking from it. And I think our kids do a good job of that. This year marks another time that the Alton Catholic and Alton boys soccer team sold T-shirts for the rivalry match and donated to a cause, according to Amy Lombardi of the Alton Athletic Association. Last year's proceeds benefited the Crisis Food Center, and this year's funds were directed to the memory of Canine Officer Odin. The T-shirts featured sleeve prints of Officer Odin, which were donated by Schwarzkopf. Lombardi expressed pride in the students' efforts, noting that it's crucial for them to think of others. Too many times they think of themselves, she said, quote, "It's a really good experience for the community." The collaboration between the two schools not only highlights the competitive spirit of high school athletics, but also reinforces the importance and the greatness of our Riverbend community. Congratulations to the Marquette and Alton High boys soccer teams on that. As technology innovation continues to advance, the Illinois Department of Natural Resources is cautioning hunters to be mindful of rules and the best practices that surround the use of technology in the field. This includes the use of drones for recovering wildlife, artificial intelligence for reviewing hunting laws, and e-bikes to access hunting sites. The use of unmanned aircraft or drones for any aspect of hunting or recovery of wildlife is not lawful in Illinois. It's unlawful. Not only is drone use for hunting unlawful in Illinois, it goes against the spirit of fair chase and widely accepted hunting ethics, said Jed Whitechurch, the director of the IDNR law enforcement office. He continued by saying Illinois Conservation Police are monitoring for drone use during the fall and winter hunting seasons. We encourage all hunters to familiarize themselves with the wildlife code and abide by the law. The unlawful use of drones for hunting could result in enforcement action, including but not limited to the seizure of and forfeiture of unlawfully used equipment. Hunters are advised to review all requirements of the Illinois Wildlife Code, which regulates the taking of wildlife and the use of unmanned aircraft in these situations. AI is gaining popularity as resources for answers about hunting regulations, but a review of AI-generated answers to common hunting questions in Illinois shows this underdeveloped tool frequently provides flaws, conflicting, or incorrect answers. AI-generated information can pose a real problem when it comes to hunting laws, which can be very specific and nuanced based on the season, site, or the situation. Our advice is to rely on primary sources of hunting information, such as the Digest of Hunting and Trapping Regulations, the IDNR's Hunt Illinois website, and the State Wildlife Code. As electric bikes, e-bikes, have become more popular, some hunters have found them to be convenient, affordable vehicles for reaching remote hunting sites. However, the bikes are prohibited on IDNR-owned and operated lands for any reason, including hunting and trapping access, except on public roads or designated bike trails. As recently last week, Illinois Conservation Police received a complaint about a hunter using an e-bike in the woods at the Peabody River King State Fish and Wildlife Area in St. Clair. Upon further investigation, the hunter was cited for having an expired e-bike permit, transporting an uncased bow, and other offenses. So just be mindful this hunting season. Finally, in the news this morning, Boeing has announced it's set to lay off nearly 700 workers across Missouri, with reductions scheduled to begin January the 7th. As the holiday season approaches, the aerospace company filed that worker adjustment and retraining notification, the WARN notice, with Missouri's Office of Workforce Development on Wednesday, outlining the affected locations that do include the St. Louis Metro East, Berkeley, Hazelwood, Kansas City, Kingsville, Maryland Heights, O'Fallon, St. Charles, St. Louis City, and St. Anne. The layoffs are part of Boeing's broader strategy to adjust its workforce in response to financial challenges and shift in business priorities. Most of the 692 employees affected by the layoffs are expected to depart the company in mid-January. The WARN notice indicates that the layoffs will include attrition and a focus on filling critical business positions. Boeing has stated that some employees will be eligible for severance pay, career transition services, and health care benefits for up to 3 months following their departure. The announcement comes amid Boeing's plan to reduce its global workforce by approximately 10% in an effort to recover from lost revenues. At 10:06, that's a look at what's happening around the River Bend this morning. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a little bit of a best of hybrid, and we'll keep this Thursday moving. But what a great first conversation. It's UI, this illness, and the four walls that surround me right here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV. It's our daily show. Let's take a look at downtown Alton, and when we come back, more of our daily show on this Thursday.
That time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Here I am, baby. Oh, you got the future in your hand. Here I am, baby.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our Daily Show. Here's CJ. You are listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm gonna sing it to my friends when I go round in circles. they fly high like a bird up in the sky. When they go round in circles.
Oh, you're perfect. 9:24. Corey Jobs is in the studio. How are we doing this morning, Corey?
We're doing great. It's the sun shining. We need no more rain.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
we got enough rain in 2 days for the next couple months.
I think we're good until spring.
I think we're good for a little while. My yard is flooded, that's for sure.
Man, you ain't a kid. It's the only time I ever thought I'd never had a water feature before, but
lakefront property we have, right?
Mr. Job, it's been a great run of things for Great Rivers and Routes, and it's been exciting to be in the region and seeing all of this happening. And this Byway Discovery Center that's coming down the pipeline, and it seems like 2026 is what I just read. Very exciting, but also just the growth that the counties in your coverage area are experiencing. This has got to be great.
Well, it's I'm celebrating my 4th year here next week.
Already?
It's been 4 years. Wow, where does the time go? Causing so much fun and trouble in the process. But no, it's we've had a good run. Since the pandemic, some obviously small business owners are still feeling that, and with cost of product and prices, I understand that. But we've had a really good run here in the region since 2020. Visitor spending's been up $100 million.
Wow.
In 4 years. Now that's starting to level off again a bit because the world's reopened, right?
Right.
You can go anywhere in the world you want. We're a great road trip destination, 3 to 5 hour drive market. We know where our visitors are coming from. We know who our visitors are. So we're hyper-focused on them. And so, that 3 to 5 hour drive, road trip destinations where we're solid. And, in those, and then in the last 2 years, outdoor recreation spending is up over 20%. So we know a lot of people are coming here to enjoy our outdoor product, our natural resources, our state parks, the rivers, our bike trail system here in Madison County. And so, we got to continue to develop that and grow that product as we continue to meet that demand.
Well, and I think that your region is so unique and just and how it kind of lays out, because those are some things that I'm kind of privy to, just kind of seeing, you have rural, municipal, you have small towns and suburban, you have every walk of life to really capture and showcase what makes them great for their region too as part of that. And I think Great Rivers and Routes really does a good job with their projects. I'm not saying patronizing because you're bigger than me, Corey. But, no. From Granite City to all the way down the map, to the things you've done in Edwardsville and onward, it really does match what that community really does feel and look like.
Well, it's interesting. We really have 4 national scenic byways that cross our area, and there's 7 in the state. But the 2 most iconic on a global scale are Route 66 and the Great River Road. And, I tell people you might as well make hay while you've got it. And Route 66 is going to turn 100 years old in 2026. And so I've been fortunate. The governor has appointed me chair of the Route 66 Centennial Commission statewide. But we started an initiative 4 years ago where we went to the legislature and said, hey, we have the centennial coming up. We need to be prepared. Look what Oklahoma's doing. Look what other states out west are doing. So we wrote legislation to put $4 million in the state budget to help local communities along Route 66 from Chicago to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which is in our area. And that was successful. And then it's just appeared in the governor's budget every year since. So the last 4 years, we've had over $16 million in grant funds that come directly to destination marketing organizations like Great Rivers and Routes from Chicago to us to help build product, roadside attractions. And we're seeing that momentum. International travel to Illinois is up 17% over the previous year, and we're seeing increases in that as well.
Well, and just to follow up on that point, which is a great one, there's 2 points that actually, number one is it's great to, know that, in the world of, Southern Illinois maybe doesn't get some of the love, to know that, it's, this is included in the governor's budget or has been, each year. That's a good note. And really good to know. The other thing that I find fascinating is I talked to Rich Henry before he passed away, and just a great man.
A wonderful man.
And, I'm always big about numbers, but you truly get a sense when you talk to the folks that are on the ground and living it. And some of the things that he was saying, because we've had him on a couple of times, was just about all the new faces from out of the country that were coming in, and how incredible it was, and how big this was going to get because of the occasion. And it's just great to hear that too.
Well, and business owners like Rich and others have seen, unfortunately, his passing, and I know the family's going to try to keep it open. It is a unique site.
It really is.
And when you think about global travel, it's maybe not as a big domestic road trip, but I think the Centennial will help that.
For
but
sure.
Internationally, Route 66 is the ultimate bucket list road trip. And when we're talking to international tour operators and media, most travelers, when they go on holiday to the U.S. from an international market, they're on the road 3 to 4 weeks at a time. And so that's the epic road trip of a lifetime for an international travel. But yes, I mean, the state of Illinois does pump a lot of money in tourism. And I get a kick out when somebody says, we're not a tourism destination here in Alton or here in Madison County. But yet, last year we had over almost $880 million in visitor spending in our 6-county region, and $600 million of that was in Madison County alone. So when you talk to a business owner like J.D. Lorton up at Aries, or Mike Kelly at the Cracker Factory, you could just name them one after the other, Ben Allen at Loading Dock, they'll tell you without the visitor economy, there would be no business.
Right.
And so the visitor economy, it helps our small business owners. And so, yes, we have a great, unique position that we're in right now. And Route 66 with the Centennial brings new attention to the Great River Road, too, because we're the only place in America where Route 66 and the Great River Road meet.
Well, exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, and too, what I think is really wonderful is just the fact that everyone that's in that region is all on the same page, too. Really does get on the same page and really rallies around this goal.
Yes, well, one community can't do it on their own.
Right.
We used to be back. We're going to celebrate our 40th anniversary in business in 2025. 40 years, the Great Rivers and Routes.
It's incredible.
It started as all around Alton, but everybody knew in this 6-county area when we started to grow, they couldn't do it on their own. And so, Alton can't do it on their own. Edwardsville, Collinsville, et cetera, et cetera. And so, it's our goal and our mission to drive travel to and throughout our 6-county community. You could stay in Alton for a couple of nights. You could be at Lloyd Hopkins Field in a tournament, but you've got to have something to do in between. And so you might drive up to Grafton, you might go over to Edwardsville, who knows where you might go, but the dollar is staying here in our 6-county region.
Well, and you just, crystal ball moment for you, because the big thing I've been talking about lately is this idea of sports tourism.
Yes.
No one realizes, I don't think, and it's for every sport, but I know mostly for soccer, how much money some of these tournaments can really bring into a community. And, now that we have some fields that aren't as playable as they could be, but it seems like our region, especially the Great Rivers and Routes map, near that 255 corridor, has some wonderful opportunity there, especially in Edwardsville, Plummer Park, and all those, in O'Fallon too. Is there an opportunity to grow that sports tourism map?
Absolutely. You just teed it up nicely for me, because, last year we hired the Huddle Up Group, which is a national leading sports tourism planning organization, and they do plans for big destinations like Vegas and Portland and Chicago, but they do destinations like us as well. What's so unique about us, we're centrally located in America. We're close to an airport. We're on Amtrak, an interstate system. We have great leisure product for families and players to go do while they're on a break from a tournament. And we have good outdoor facilities. We've got, with the Plummer Park 2 expansion, that's going to be incredible. What we don't have is an indoor facility.
That's true.
And we've been talking about this. And there's some communities that we're meeting with, but the growing industry in hospitality and travel has been sports, youth and amateur sports. I'm not talking professional sports.
No, not at all. That's what I mean. It's just these clubs like Gallagher and all that.
Yes, and so, that was over a $50 billion industry last year. $50 billion in America.
Yeah.
Youth and amateur. So it's a major opportunity. A lot of communities are looking at it. I think we have a great opportunity for one facility in Madison County.
Yeah, I agree.
But we don't know where that would be yet. We're talking to some communities. We're talking to Madison County government. We've talked to Alton. We've talked to Godfrey. We've talked to Granite City and others. Edwardsville, I think, is really focused on outdoor, which is critically important. It's interesting. We just received a $500,000 incentive grants from the governor's office, DCO, and the Illinois Office of Tourism to attract new sporting events. So we're going to have a series of rolling announcements over the next several months that without this incentive fund, these events wouldn't be calling Great Rivers and Routes Region home. And we'll be announcing those as the winter months roll along. And these will be for 25, 26, and 27.
It's incredible. Well,
so just a little investment can really go a long way. And you may not see it as an elected official or as a John Q. Public.
Right.
But when a tournament, for instance, NCBA 1 and 2, that have called Lloyd Hopkins Field home for the last 2 years, and now again next year, they fill all of our hotel rooms. They go out and eat. They buy gas. They shop. They play while they're in the area. And that has a major ripple effect on our local economy. You may not see that as an average Joe, but when those youth tournaments come to the region, and it's only on weekends, right? So we need a facility that our residents can enjoy Monday through Friday, and that we can book nonstop Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's the key for an indoor facility. And we've got studies. I think people are open to it. We don't need to cannibalize ourselves here in the region. One, within the county is enough.
Well, and on top of that, too, I want to go back to that facility. But, just a little bit more behind the curtain on those tournaments, that I think is so important is it's not just the area. If they have especially vendors set up, no one really talks about what happens when that vendor has $1,000 day and goes and puts $250 out at a local restaurant to celebrate, and what that means. But also on the flip side with officiating, because it's become a great career, early first job for so many kids that are able to clear a couple $100 a weekend. So there's a little bit more to that too that maybe folks don't understand. I don't think.
Well, I'm telling you, sports tourism is not going anywhere. You know hundreds of people that have kids that travel. How about keeping them at home?
I think they'd all say yes.
To us
that's been the
and
problem.
Spend their money here. I know tons of people that go every weekend to see their daughter or their son, bring their grandparents, maybe aunts and uncles, and they stay and they eat and they shop. And that can happen right here in Madison County. It can. We are so primed for it. And so that has been our effort over the last couple of years, making sure that we educate local officials. We have a regional sports committee that we have formed out of that. Not a commission, but a committee. And we're also seeking, the state legislature last year allowed for tourism improvement districts to be created, which is not a tax. It's just a user fee on a hotel room that goes to a dedicated fund for things like a location, an indoor location, or some sort of athletic facility. And it's needed. And so I think you'll see more and more of that discussion taking more public space over the next year. We've just been laying the groundwork privately with elected officials. And so, youth sports is not going anywhere.
One final thought on that, too, and I know it's still early, but would this facility be a multi-sport facility, or would you be looking to,
we would. This would be, I would say 100,000 square feet.
Okay.
It would be what I describe it as 8 to 10 basketball court size that could be converted to volleyball, that could be converted to wrestling, dance, cheer, gymnastics. So a multitude of things, but also have a center, an athletic facility center for locals. So you could have programming for your local residents that could use it Monday through Friday. Indoor type things that your local residents want. So
cool.
So when there's been a lot of conversation about 25 or 30,000 square feet facilities, but that's okay. But you're not really seeing a true economic potential. What will happen if you build this? You're going to need more hotel room. You're going to need more hotels, period. We don't have enough hotel rooms now. I think when you see the Plummer Park 2 and all that happening out at I-55, the Park North development in Edwardsville, there's not going to be enough hotel rooms for that development. And so, that will spur even more economic development. They're building these athletic facilities in the middle of nowhere across the country.
Yeah.
And then everything's building around it. And so we're so centrally located. And I think that's what the Huddle Up group study showed to us, that we have great leisure product. We're so centrally located. We just don't have the facility development to compete now on the indoor.
Before we take a pause here and come back, I got to, kind of ask you about this too, because I think sometimes, and you hit it, well, that's why I started the show. You don't need to go to New York or LA to do anything anymore. You can do it right here. There's so many things to talk about. But sometimes I think that because we're living here, we don't really see the cool things and the greatness. What is there anything that you can kind of correlate to why maybe it takes some time for hometown residents or maybe the local residents to really understand that these numbers are there?
Well, everything takes time, right? You've got to do a lot of education. I think in the tourism perspective, I don't think people believe the numbers. And I'm not making these numbers. These are from U.S. Travel, Brand USA, the state of Illinois. We study the heck out of I spend more money out of our budget each year on studies and economic impact reports and understanding where our visitors coming from, data. But you present these numbers, and I don't know any other sector in our 6-county region that's producing that kind of spending.
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, this is a tourism economy. It really is. And so, I think it's a lot of education. It's a lot of holding hands. And it does take time. I've learned, I grew up in Southern Illinois. I spent a lot of my life in Springfield, Illinois, in the government.
Right.
And then I was in Chicago for 5 years, and now back downstate. But I've learned that it just takes time. And I don't, I've had to learn that a lot, sometimes the hard way.
Right.
But it takes time to educate people. And look, it's not, building a major sports facility is not cheap.
No,
it's probably, to build 100,000 square feet, you need 10 acres. I'm just boiling the numbers down.
Right.
You need 10 acres, it's probably $40 to $50 million investment when it's all said and done. But that $40 to $50 million investment does help with your local residents, but you can pay that investment off over time because indoor sports turns a quicker profit for that facility than a outdoor
easily.
bat and
I can
ball.
see that. Yeah.
Now, the outdoor bat and ball generates a ton of economic spending at hotels and restaurants and shops and gas, but it probably doesn't pay for itself as fast. The indoor facility does. There's tons of studies out there on the market. Synergy Sports Facilities Company, those are the two leading sports development companies out there.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
You got a moment to stick around?
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry about my sports and my sports tourism rants. I'm a big proponent of this.
You're talking right up my alley, so I love it.
We got a lot more to talk about with the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes, Corey Jobe. More of our daily show on this Wednesday morning continues right after this.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. Which is good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
And you know it will.
9:44. You know, I'm telling you, Corey, I've always said the best show is not what's on the air.
You are right.
If these muted microphones could talk,
exactly,
I wouldn't have a job. Back to our daily show with the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes. You know, the big thing that I got really excited for, and I've said this for a long time, was seeing those first concepts of the Byway Discovery Center and seeing the initial concept of that beautiful walkway overlooking it. Is this coming down the pipeline in 2026, or was there an overlook on that?
No, it was originally planned at Piasol Park.
Yeah, was there an overlook on the bluff that was like put into that?
There was going to be a viewing stand.
Oh, that's what it was. I was excited about that, but now we're still getting this just down the road.
We are. So earlier this week, yes, we announced our final, you know, let's take a step back.
Okay.
And this happened 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. We initially applied for an EDA grant. EDA is the Economic Development Administration at the federal level. They were putting out some ARPA funding for tourism across the country. And we originally pitched this idea of Byway to creating new product along our 33-mile stretch of the Meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway, which we administer, that byway as well. And so we got knocked out in the first round, very highly competitive around the country. So then former State Senator Rochelle Crow and I were talking, and she said, let's try to pitch this to the state. And we did, and we were successful. We got a $10 million capital grant awarded or approved in the state budget in fiscal year 22.
Okay.
We're in fiscal year 25 now. So that took about a year. That was a part of the capital grant where it's in the Build Illinois bonds. I'm getting in the weeds here how the funding happens.
Following, yeah.
So the funding finally takes place, and we got our notice of grant award about a year ago. So in that time, a lot of different things had taken place. We were trying to find property. It's not an Alton Visitor Center. It's not it's a Byway Discovery Center. It was always intended to orientate visitors to what the byway is, a working river.
Not to cut you off, but I almost considered it a hub more than...
Yeah, I would say it's, it would be a hub for the byway. There's not something right now that celebrates the working river or the towns that make up the byway, our natural resources, our outdoor recreation, all those sorts of wonderful things. So we had already undertaken had successfully awarded our architect, which is local in Edwardsville, our engineer, SMS engineers here, local, our urban planners and architects, landscape architects out of Naperville, and then our museum consultants, designers, and builders, which is Taylor Studios out of Rantoul. So all Illinois companies that are working on it. We had already had them, under contract, spending a lot of money out of our own pocket, not a part of the grant. And so we were having a very difficult time finding a location that would not be financially draining on our organization. And there were a lot of missteps in certain locations. And so we had always looked at Piasol Creek. We liked what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was doing there. We know Piasol Creek is a great paddling spot, and we know a lot of boaters take launch there. And so we circled back with Great Rivers Land Trust and said, hey, we think this fits probably the byway's narrative better. The U.S. Army Corps is doing the island restoration project up there. They've Great Rivers Land Trust is a wonderful organization that is taking back property and turning it back to natural resources.
It's amazing
what they're doing quietly behind the scenes, really doing wonderful things. And they bought that marina up there and bought all that commercial and filled the marina in and have these big plans for green space. And when I took the architects and everybody up there, we said, this just makes sense. And so the board our board of directors a couple months ago agreed to move forward. And we're now moving forward at Piasaw Creek. And so what we wanted to do was update new drawings, new designs, because we are on the clock with the state.
Yeah.
The state, we always had to have the money spent by March or April of 2026. That was always our deadline. And so we had even at one point in time thought about giving the $10 million back. And then my board said, well, Corey, if we give the $10 million back,
when are you going to get it?
They're never going to award us a grant again. And that $10 million really doesn't come to the Bureau. None of it does. It's money in, money out. It's for product development. And that's all the things we've done. You know, we're launching a new kayak kiosk program. There's going to be 10 kayaks in the area that'll launch this spring. They're being installed right now. So we're trying to create all this new product that visitors want. With outdoor recreation and nature-based tourism, back to our earlier conversation, up 20% the last 2 years. And so we're really excited. We should probably be breaking ground on the Byway Discovery Center sometime in early spring. It's going to be an aggressive build. We know that. Yeah. But we are close to going out for public bid and following all the state procurement laws sometime in early January. So there'll be a lot of momentum going in the first of the year. And then along with that, that's about a $7 million project. That's going to be a 4,500 square foot building, about 1,600 square feet of exhibit museum space. Mm-hmm. It's going to have lecture facilities. It's going to have some outdoor learning labs and other things there. But then at the Confluence Tower in Hartford, we're really excited about because there hasn't been anything spent there since it opened over 20 years ago. And, you know, when I came in, that was closed. The Confluence Tower, the mayor at that time had closed it.
That's right. You're 100%
right. It had been closed for a couple of years. And I worked with the current mayor. He's been wonderful. And we reopened it and started hosting tours. And we manage, Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau manages that facility. Mm-hmm. We actually manage 5 visitor centers in the region. We manage
I didn't realize that.
The Alton Visitor Center. We manage the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower. We manage the West End Service Station in Edwardsville for the city of Edwardsville. And then we just renewed our contract on a competitive bid. We manage the Audubon Center at Riverlands. Wow. And we also manage the National Great Rivers Museum, their visitor services. Yeah, so most people don't know that. So we know visitor.
But just to touch
we have visitor
on that,
center experience.
Corey, you guys have to be good at what you're, and I mean this because if you weren't knowledgeable, I mean, it's not just you're running visitor centers. I mean, you're talking about going from West End Service Station down to Audubon Center. It's having this knowledge on how these different properties run.
And you know, we have a great visitor center specialist staff. They're retired individuals. They're really great people that do a wonderful job day in and day out. But so the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower is going to see a major facelift and expansion. You know, we're going to be spending about nearly $3 million there we're expanding the museum and visitor center experience. Uh-huh. We're building the state-of-the-art playscape, probably be the coolest playscape in our 6-county region. We're going to expand the park and some learning labs exterior and be able to tell a deeper story about the Lewis and Clark and the American Bottoms experience. And so both of those projects simultaneously will be happening at the same time. So it's our goal and the state's goal for us to find one general contractor, which we've talked to several in the region already. They know the bids, the public process is coming. And it'll be a new investment, new product, $10 million that is coming to the region. But you know, CJ, over the last 3.5 years, Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau has probably brought nearly $20 million in grant funds back to our region that we're spending right here in Alton, that we're spending in Graft, all up and down around our region. That none of it goes to our bottom line. I mean, I'm opening the books here to you publicly, because a lot of people see us get these grant funds, but none of that goes to operations. And so our community partnerships, like what we have here with Alton and Collinsville and Edwardsville and Granite City and Woodward, we have several community partnerships that are based on food and beverage taxes, hotel motel taxes. That goes to help market, to help sell tour operators and motor coach, to tournament rights, so sports rights holders. That's where that investment goes. And I always tell elected officials, you know, there's 8 of us at our office. You could never, the city of Alton or the city of Edwardsville could never hire 8 employees for the dollars they're giving us as an investment in really making tourism shine here in the 6th County
I
region.
100% agree. And I think a common misconception is because everyone with grants is they always just think you just sit right on that, well, how much is that guy taking home? Well, nothing, because, and the whole argument I always have for this, the grants, if it's not coming to us, are going to other folks. So the fact that we have this and have a champion for grants and have some, and it's going to split up between a couple of different towns, but one town can't have the world. It's not how a region's successful.
Correct. And, it's we've got a great relationship with the Illinois Office of Tourism. We've got a great relationship with DCO, but we have relationships with the National Park Service, the National Trust for Historic Preservation. We have great relationships with the Federal Highway Administration and IDOT, because under the Biden administration, whether you like it or not, there is more money being pumped into infrastructure, roads, bridges, ports, than in our lifetime. And we had a hefty discussion on our board whether we should be going after these funds. And if we don't go after them, somebody else will.
100%.
And we've been able to go out. The state of Illinois hadn't invested in national scenic byways in over 20 years. And now we're going to see that investment take place. You're going to see some things happening here along the Great River Road. We have a corridor management plan for our meeting of the Great Rivers that was established in 2007. We're in 2025 almost. We've already achieved all those things that were done in 2007. We need to update our corridor management plan so we can seek additional funds and projects. And a lot of things have changed in this area.
And on top of that, too, Court, I mean, people always talk about how beautiful this is. Well, it's beautiful, but timing's always a scary thing, too.
Correct.
Because, yes, time does wonders, but it also can do some bad things. And to manage this and to add these new additions to beautify the corridor, to enhance it, that's what you need.
Well, and we have so many assets that need attention now on this byway, from the San Vidal Bean Bike Trail to Pierre Marquette State Park. We need a full-time ferry operation in Grafton. We need better access points for our boaters and fishermen on the Mississippi. All these things are current infrastructure not problems, but need to be addressed. That's what we should be focusing on a region. When you look at I go back again, 20% increase in visitor spending for outdoor rec, nature-based tourism in the last 2 years. It shows you that people want to come here. Pierre Marquette State Park is gets more visitors. It's the largest state park, gets over 2 million visitors a year. But it needs some help. The lodge needs work. We need to upgrade the amenities there. I love, we have a great relationship with Nate Gettin and his team at the park, but they need help. And we can be their champion. But as a region, that's the sort of things we should be focused on, is how do we improve the infrastructure? How do we improve visitor amenities that not only drive economic return, but help us as a quality of life for us as residents, right?
I agree. And with that being said, we're coming up to the top of the hour. A couple of minutes left. What should we, is there anything else that's coming down the pipeline we should be privy to?
Well, I would just say to your listeners, I would just keep following our website at riversandroutes.com, especially with the two projects that we've talked about here briefly, but also what we're doing in sports tourism, Route 66. You can find all that if you go to riversandroutes.com and then hit the destination development tab. We just launched a new 10-year tourism master plan for the region, which we're really excited about. When I started here, we'd never had a tourism master plan. I believe in planning and strategic plans.
Well, you have to,
Yes, it keeps us kind of following what we need to do. So we're committed here, and this is going to take some time to get accomplished. But go to our website. That's where you can find all the latest and greatest information of things we're doing.
Well, this has been a great conversation. 40 minutes of one. I hope you guys got something out of it at home. Corey, you're always welcome back. I know you're busy, and thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me in. It's been great.
No problem. 9:49 is the time, or 59. I do get paid for my job. 9:59, I'm blaming the election night coverage. Coming up to top of the hour news on the 6th day of November. Top of the hour news smacks you in the nose. And fantastic deals. Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron Icon by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. Man, I sound good. 10:47, a little bit of change. Thank God this is HD microphoneage. Before I say goodbye to you for now, I figured, it is Thursday. It does not feel like a Thursday. I don't know what day it is, but there's a ton of great things that are happening around the Riverbend this weekend that I wanted just to kind of make you privy to. It starts off with that big event, the huge one for the city of Alton, the 31st annual tree lighting at Lincoln Douglas Square from 5:30 till about 6:45. Enjoy free trolley rides between the corner of 3rd and Bell and Lincoln and Douglas Square, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Then at 6 o'clock, take photos with Santa and Mrs. Claus and other costume characters while enjoying Carol and Cocoa, candy and cookies. Then the lighting of the tree by Mayor David Goins at 6:45. If you can't make it there, join in. And you can watch me and the sights and sounds of it on RiverBender.com and on Roku TV. The Buzz Tones will perform live at Alton VFW Post 1308 on November the 22nd, Friday, 7 to 11. The public is invited to an excellent night of great music and camaraderie. For more information, vfwpost1308.org. On Friday, we'll start you off in Edwardsville, Seams for the Soul, and more, enjoying Edwardsville Pink Friday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., a celebration supporting small business the week before Black Friday. You can also go to the open house holiday sale at Hudson Jewelers in Edwardsville and enjoy special sales from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. for your holiday gifts on Friday. On Friday, head on over to It's Raining Zen in Alton from 12 noon until 3 p.m., where you can join in for a special John Two Hawks meet and greet autograph event, where you can meet the artists and get your items signed. And then on the 22nd, on Friday from 4 to 7 p.m., head on over to Body Restoration Salon and Spa for their exclusive discounts, seasonal cocktails, and their holiday open house this Friday. Also, kick off your festivities in Jerseyville at Maven Makeup for their 2025 holiday event from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Enjoy promotions, giveaways, and some cocktails. Experience the magic of the season at the Tree Lighting Open House at Honeybee Vintage in Alton on November the 22nd, where you can stop by for the shopping of vintage decor and enjoy some gourmet treats while enjoying the 31st annual Christmas tree lighting. On Friday, you can join the Painting Bee for a fun evening at Holiday Lights Acrylic Painting at DJ's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville from 6 to 9 p.m. on Friday to create your own masterpiece. Also in Jerseyville, you can head on over to Germania Brew House, the Jerseyville location. Just repeating that again. On Friday, November the 22nd, from 6 to 9 p.m., it features drink specials, live music, and more. You can also head to Edwardsville on Friday, live music with James Jones at 1818 Chop House from 6 to 9 p.m., and also in Edwardsville, a Magic the Gathering Learn to Deck Build event hosted by Heroic Adventures, starting at 6:30 p.m. On Saturday, join the Greater St. James Baptist Church for their Day of Giving drive-thru, where they'll be blessing families in Alton with food supplies for Thanksgiving, starting at 9 a.m. until supplies run out. Also, on Saturday, head to the Saints Peter and Paul 25th Annual Christmas Bazaar at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Alton from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Saturday, featuring large basket raffles, a silent auction, and plenty of holiday cheer. You can also kick your holiday shopping off at the Wade Family Farm Christmas Open House on November the 23rd, where you can shop local vendors and enjoy lunch from the iconic Pig on a Wing food truck. Participate in the Thanksgiving spirit with Shalom Harvest food distribution at Tabernacle MB Church on November the 23rd during their drive-thru event. You can also stop by Roberts Motors in Alton for a life-saving mobile blood drive from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday. Bring the family for a day of fun to the Munch and Read launch party at 1 AG Church on Saturday, featuring games, activities, and book sales from Jerseyville CEO, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. You can also shop at the Harvest Market on November the 23rd, where you can find unique food, decor, and home goods just in time for Thanksgiving. Experience the magic of winter at the Gateway Arch Park Foundation's 9th Annual Winterfest on November the 23rd, featuring ice skating, s'mores, and more from 12 noon until 8 p.m. in St. Louis. Bring your scouts to Scout Day at the YMCA on Saturday, November the 23rd, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. in Edwardsville for a day of fun-filled activities. And there's so much more to talk about. So let me give you a couple of more, and just we'll talk more about it tomorrow. The Thanks Vintage Market in Alton on Saturday, November the 23rd is also running, plus the 10th Annual Robert Sean Hildegross Memorial for Toys for Tots at Alton VFW Hall. Post 1308, November the 23rd, with live music, food, and more. You can also go to the VFW in Wood River for their cornhole tournament, starting at 5:30 with cash prizes for the winners. Almost Famous is playing live at the Argosy Casino on Saturday from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And then the sold-out Best of the Best Broadway taking place as well. And then finally, the Plastic Kings play live at the Pump House Bar and Grill on Saturday, starting at 9 for an unforgettable night of music. At 10:54, a quick break will wrap up the Thursday that was. and I'm going to bed after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues,
on RiverBender.com.
future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sleep Center in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back. Wrapping this with Thursday Up, 10:57. Brian Trust has you this afternoon from 2 to 3 with your beautiful, good guest around the pipeline, too. While I have you, one final thing for me to say. And that's about Hainer Library. Hainer Library is the best. They're the door to unlocking everything that you need for your life, whether it's knowledge or learning about your own community, or maybe just some entertainment, some escape from the house, getting out of that house for a couple of hours and going and having some community fun, no alcohol involved, just good cheer, good spirits, and good times. You know, at Hainer Library, they're really the telescope. They're the telescope to Alton's past, Alton's future, just like a local library should be. But they go above and beyond. There's a reason they're just turning heads left and right with some of these great programs, and all of you all are loving them. If you haven't gotten your library card yet, I highly encourage you to. Go to HainerLibrary.org and you click on that How Do I tab. You put your address in and get your library card. You're paying for it with your taxes, so your card is literally free. You just got to go pick it up, and then you unlock benefits. You know, how many of you are getting ready to think about cutting Netflix out because after that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson debacle and the lack of great programming on that app and the fact that they keep raising your prices and now you can't share Netflix accounts? Listen, I get it. But with your Hainer Library card, you get ad-free, for free, streaming on movies and TV shows through Biblio Plus. You need that library card. You get so much more on top of that outside of Biblio Plus. I highly encourage you to check it out at HainerLibrary.org. Tell them CJ sent you over. I'm out of time. I'll see you tomorrow. We are going to have guests in the studio. I'm going to go get some rest and see if I can start feeling better. But until then, enjoy your Thursday and try your best to stay out of jail.
Oh, yes, he did. He said